Of course, we're here with the one, the only Sean Baligian here at the KLAA MIHL tournament or showcase. What's it always like? This is always a fun event for you.
Oh, I love it. It's fantastic. It's, Casey, this goes back, I don't know, 8 or 9 years. There were a couple coaches arguing about which conference was better. And I got sick of being part of those arguments and conversations. So I said, why don't you guys just play? Why don't we set something like this up? So they did, and Coach MIHL at Stevenson does a great job putting this together. But really, the shout outs have to go to everybody. They do. Everybody that's a part of this. I know it's not easy to pick the team up, pack the team up, and get out to a day like this, but it's a heck of a lot of fun. It's great to see. It's great to see some, old friends and old faces. Because Casey, you know the drill. I know how busy you are. It's not easy to go see everybody all the time. Yeah. So when you get a centralized location like this, you get a chance to see some of the best out there in what is just a fantastic place. You know it. You did such a great job covering it, Casey. This is a fantastic place for high school hockey.
Just overall, I mean, obviously, you talk about a lot of these two conferences a lot. What are we expecting this year from these two things? Obviously, everyone talks about CC and Brighton, Heartland obviously having a good year, Howell having a good year, a lot of teams having a good year. What are we here? What's here to watch today? We've had a good few matchups, and we got some more as the day goes on.
One that I already got a chance to see today that I was very intrigued at was De La Salle and Northville. I know you saw Northville. I think there's talent there.
Yeah.
I think there's even more talent coming. And Chad LaRose has done such a great job with the pilot. So I was really intrigued at that. I want to see Howell continue to grow. I think Howell's been a good story. Everybody knows what Orchard Lake is. Kenny Chappett and Brother Rice, you can never, ever count out the Warriors. Ever. Never, ever. I think a lot of people are looking at Stevenson and Trenton as always. And, the nightcap. I mean, it's CC and Brighton. I mean, what more needs to be said? I think both guys, Coach Cal, Coach Cavisto, have done such a great job for so many different years. And to me, Casey, it's about watching the guys on the ice and taking a look at, I heard about this kid, or I heard about that kid, because I joke about it all the time on our show. I wish I could clone myself and get out to 1,000 games because I'm excited about some of the things that are happening at Brighton right now, for example, and now I get a chance to watch it, while watching a whole bunch of other games at the same time. So it's that's the beautiful thing about this day.
And then just overall, what are we? Some surprises. What do we think so far? We're in December, and we're heading into and in a few weeks we'll be heading toward 2025, and you never know what could happen then.
No, that's exactly it. You know what? And I have the tough task of trying to put together my first top 25 tomorrow. And the way that this season is going, this team beat that team, who beat that team, who beat that team, who beat that team. It's going to be tough, but you know what? That's a good problem to have. When you have some parity and you have some teams that are capable of going out there on a nightly basis and knocking you off if you don't get your act together, that's the beautiful thing about it. And watching the teams come up, there's Chad LaRose. He's going to get mad that I gave him a shout out, but Chad LaRose is one of those guys right now that, you take a look at what he's doing with the Pilots. As I mentioned, big win today. It's going to be fun to watch them grow, and as they did last year. I thought he did a great job last year, and I think he's doing a good job this year. So to me, you're starting to see the cream rise to the top. But that doesn't mean that teams can't make a move at playoff time, and that's the fun part about it, to be sure.
And let's talk about the game you're about to call on the State Champs Network, which will be, of course, shown all over the world on the YouTube app on YouTube. So, how exciting is it? Of course, two teams that I know that are very familiar, obviously, with Stevenson and Trent. It's going to be a really good one.
Oh, it's fantastic. I think everybody's talking about Heartland, rightfully so. I think what Rick Gadd was done to start this season, they're right up there with Catholic Central, but Stevenson Trenton is become one of those can't miss games every year, and especially in a year like this, Casey, where in my opinion you've got a really good Trenton and a really good Stevenson. I think that kicks up everything across the board. You're the best, Rosie. I think that kicks everything up across the board, Casey. Now that these two teams are near the top of the Division II heap, so that's going to be exciting to see, and hopefully everybody will have a chance to tune into that and see some fantastic players. We've got a goaltender on the Wall Award. We've got a Player of the Year nominee in Owen Hall over with Stevenson, so that's going to be a fun test to be sure.
Absolutely. Sean Baligian, thank you always for the time.
You're the best, Casey. Keep up the great work.